Awareness Month. All month long, Richland School District 1 is highlighting the importance of daily attendance for a student's success. Being present every day not only helps with academic achievement, but it also helps build strong, lasting habits. So joining us this morning with how attendance matters, we have Tony Kelly Campbell, the Richland One's coordinator of social work services. Tony, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the broader picture. Why is attendance so important for students in the classroom? Doesn't really matter what age.
Oh gosh, with student attendance, that's sort of the foundation of everything with school. With attendance, we know that it is directly affected, it directly affects your academics. So that even extends into standardized testing. So we know that the more the child is in school every day, the more that child has the likelihood of being successful academically. But the other piece that's really key is just the whole idea of some of the other skills you learn in school, some of the life skills that help you to be successful throughout your life. In school, you're learning to work in a group. You're learning to work in a collaborative way. And we know that when you're in the workforce, you're constantly working with your teammates. We know that showing up is important. I always like to talk to students about, what their future career paths are. And if we have a student that says, oh, I want to be a professional athlete, how many athletes don't show up for the big game?
Right.
You don't want your doctor to just say, you know what, today is just not the day I'm going in. So, things like that. Yeah. And really try to show students the relevance of what they're learning today, how that's going to impact them throughout their life.
What are we seeing now in Richland One? What were we seeing for the past couple of years as far as attendance?
We are seeing a decline. We're real happy to see that because at the height of the pandemic and when students returned to school, we had almost doubled our chronic absentee numbers. So right now, we are seeing about a 2% a year decline. Now, we have some schools that have shown a greater decline, but overall about a 2% decline. So we're pretty happy about what we're seeing because the decline has been steady, and that's what we hope. Yeah.
Are we normally seeing it right now in kind of elementary, middle, or is it mostly kind of high schoolers that we're kind of seeing of, oh, maybe I'll just ditch school today, or I don't really need to learn that, but is that kind of what we're seeing?
Well, you'll see that the rates typically are a little bit higher at our middle and high schools. But what you find, however, is that kindergartners tend to have some of the highest chronic absentee rates. Yeah, and what we think, is children will get sick, but we also think too that parents are just not aware of the very valuable skills that children learn at the kindergarten level. So they're more likely to take school a little more lightly and think, well, a day is not going to matter, but it actually does. A day matters. Every day matters. Yeah. Every day we're learning skills at all grade levels that are going to help our children.
So what is your message then for parents? I mean, especially at that young of an age, it's not like they're driving to school. So what is your message for parents who the kid's okay, but maybe they got a lot on their plate? Oh, just missing one day won't hurt, especially at that kindergarten age. What would you want to say to parents?
Well, we start before then. We say preschool is real school. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
So what we do is we do a lot of parent education. Our message is that we want your child in school, that lessons are valuable. So one of the things that we do is we try to send work home so that parents will see exactly what their child is learning. And we talk about, your child is missing out when they miss school, but really just getting the idea across that there's real work being done so that so that they can be successful.
I love the fact that it's really not just learning, right? You're not just learning your ABCs. You're not just learning calculus or history. You're really learning those life lessons. I think that's what you mentioned even prior. Talk about how school is more than just sitting at a desk in a classroom. It really is learning those life skills from being friends and also talking to peers and older adults.
And well, you said it quite well in terms of school learning those social skills.
Yeah.
One of the things that employers have even said in the state of South Carolina is that our students need to bone up a bit on their life skills, on how to work with other folks, how to, even if you're having a bad day, to show up and to be able to develop that self-control that school teaches you. Because in school, you just can't do whatever you want when you want. But one of the things too is that you get that supervision. So we tell parents, if nothing else, even if it's a rough day around the house, bring your child in. We'll keep your child, believe it or not, engaged, and in some instances, even entertained in school. School can be fun, and that's one of the messages that we've been talking about among our staff, is to make sure that we have a climate and culture in our school where students want to come to school versus have to come to school.
I mean, the amount of memories that I have made, I mean, everyone has. Like, the memories that you make in school are going to last forever. I really feel like that's the overall message there. For you, Tony, and for Richland One, what are you all doing? What is kind of your message there inside the classroom as far as attendance?
We are over communicating with our parents around student attendance. We know that during the pandemic, some parents got the idea, well, you know, kids are sort of at home anyway, and some days they're on screens, some days they're in. And what we've learned is that we have to go back to the basics even with our parents. So we have done lots of communication with our parents. We started actually before school began this year. We did roughly close to 1,000 home visits out to our families, particularly those students that we knew had some issues last year. Another thing that we are doing, and our principals have been wonderful on, is that they've been pushing out messages pretty much weekly in their various communications to parents saying, hey, great job this week, we need to work on that. If there's a particular grade level that needs to be followed up on. And then we have the students engaged. We have students that have come up with ideas to say, hey, we want to do Spirit Week. We have students that have just told us just various things that they'd like to have. So particularly at our high school levels, they like to work for things like restaurant passes, passes to their favorite restaurants, sporting events. So we have various drawings that we can involve students in. And then we have something that's in our schools called mentoring and student advocates, where we are connecting students with adults who care, so that when that student isn't in school, it's noticed, and it's noticed more by than just the classroom teacher, that we actually reach out to that student and say, hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
That's right.
Get the phone calls.
Yeah, so we've got as many ideas as you can think of. We've got going on during the month of September. So if you drop into any school, you may have high school students standing up for the ice cream truck because they've won the right to be there. Classroom trophies being moved around because there are contests going on between classes. So that's a lot of fun, watching the excitement that our students get when their class wins the trophy. So you will see that very much highlighted during the month of September. But many of the schools have decided that they will definitely do something each month during the school year.
Oh, I love that. There are so many resources out there that Richland School District 1 does to make sure that the kids are in the classroom, the parents are happy, the kids are happy, the students happy. So I love to see that. Tony, thank you so much for being here. We always appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We love having her. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and connect the dots.
Schools around the U.S. are spending millions of dollars to keep students off